Hello, everyone. I'm here to present you a few tricks to give your app some character using doodle-style decorators, such as this one. This is my very first time presenting in a meetup, so I hope you'll enjoy my presentation. Before beginning, let me introduce myself. My name is Arthur. I live in Montpellier, in the south of France. I've been working on many different when I was a freelance developer, mostly web applications and especially React web applications. Quite a beginner regarding React Native applications. And today I worked as a software engineer at Sunday. The goal of Sunday is to save time for what matters. This means that when you are in a restaurant, having a meaningful time with your friends, your family, by being able to pay your bill in 10 seconds instead of 10 minutes, Sunday saved you meaningful time for what matters. And to do so, we want to build a great user experience with a remarkable user interface. And that's the point of all the doodle we have on our interface. As you can see, for example, on this one, with a tip to show your support, with a line through support, the little hearts to decorate the word, and the love to replace the support. That being said, when I've just got the mockup of the UI, my first reaction has been, what the hell? It's going to be a nightmare to implement this. But actually, I had a lot of fun implementing these doodles, handling text translation, the different size of texts. So it was very fun. So I wanted to share with you all the fun I got. So we are going to live code the implementation of this particular one. All right, so let's start. We are going to start with this application. So we have a very simple application with just an image displayed and a text container containing translated text. So the translation is already handled. So that's not really the point of the presentation. So we can translate it in English or in French. So we are going to start replacing the word support in our translated string by React component. So to do so, I just replace the components I already prepared. We change the ID of the string we want to translate. So let's see the translated. So we are starting with a simple string translation with a tip to show your support as a string. And we are replacing it with support replaced by a variable. And to replace the word support, we are not replacing it with another word. We are replacing it with the translated word support. The result is an error. The result is another error because I did a little mistake. The result is something like this. So we are going to go deep into the love doodle component. So as we can see, so what the love doodle component do, it's a quite simple component encapsulated two other components. The first one is a simple text component to display the word support. And the second one is an image background component that is styled using a style component library. The important point is that this component is positioned in absolute, which enables us to display it on top of the text. But as we can see, it's not perfectly displayed. Like the position is not quite good because the position we picked is which is exactly the dimension of the parent container, which is the dimension of the support word. So we want to adjust it a little bit. I'll just add 20 pixels at the top. And in order to have the line through to go a little beyond the limits of our text, we just add some negative values on the left and on the right of the component. And the result is quite better. So we have the line through precisely our text. To play a bit with this component, we can see that it handles correctly bigger. So this is thanks to the absolute position. And this works also with the French translation. All right. The next step will be to add the heart decorator and the word love. So it's pretty much the same thing. It's two other components that are positioned in absolute. Let's start with the heart decorator, the heart component. So here it is. It's exactly the same thing. I just show you adding a background color as the exact position of this component. So as we can see, it's an image background container with a simple image as a background. It's positioned in absolute, a little on the right from our container. So it's displayed right after, and a little on the top, so just to fit the position. And the last thing is love text that is displayed right under our text. So it's also a position absolute. Oh, it's not that component. Love decorator, this one. So it's the same thing. It's a component positioned in absolute and a text component that is a little bit transformed with a rotation to give some dynamic. An absolute position, color, and a font size. And the other important thing is the font family. So to give your application some character, you need like a regular font for all the text, because you can have a fancy font for all your text, because it's going to be a nightmare for the user otherwise. So yeah, I wanted to show you how you can load using a font, Expo Font, a custom typo. So we are using use fonts from Expo Font, and we simply load a TTF file. This one can be found on Google Font, for example. And the last point, I forgot to remove this particular thing. If I remove this border, so I'm going to remove it so I can explain it before. All right, and let's see, for example, as it is in French, the replaced word is not at the end of the sentence as it was in English, so it's kind of ugly. So to avoid this, we simply add some border right on our support component. All the space we need for the heart is handled using the border right width. And why do we use a border right instead of a padding right or a margin right? It's simply because we position our other component in absolute. And if using the border, the absolute position will not change inside the component. If we used a padding, we will have to subtract this padding in order to position our component. So that's more convenient this way. So to sum up what we've seen during my presentation, we've been using React ENTL to translate the message, and we used a component instead of text to make more fancy doodle. We also see how to load a custom font using Expo Font. And we've seen that using absolute position for our component can enable us to do a lot of very fancy things. Thank you for listening.